Good afternoon. So I am here to talk a little bit about predicting user journeys. But first, you might be wondering, Schibsted Media Group, who's that? Not a lot of people have heard of us. We're actually very big. We're in 44 countries, and we've got more than 200 million unique users per month visiting our sites. We're 175 years old, started as a media company in Norway, in print, and then moved to digital, and then we started investing heavily into marketplaces, classified marketplaces as well. Some of these brands you might know in Europe. Le Bon Coin, for example, is the big classified site in France, about 20 million users a month, unique users a month in traffic. Fun is the biggest classified site in Norway. Blocket is the biggest classified site in Sweden. We've got Willhaben in Austria, Segunda Mano in Spain. We've actually got about 5 different classified sites in Spain. And then we've got Subito in Italy as well. So what that means is we collect a lot of data because people are buying and selling things. And they're doing searches on our classified sites, and they're reading our news. And we've had quite a bit of time to collect this data because we've been around for a long time. And obviously, we want to make use of this data to make people's lives a bit better. So let's first have a little bit of a look into data and user behavior. We, as humans, are creatures of habit. And it's not strange because we live in a world that's full of cycles. Just look at some of these searches. Eclipse happens about 4 times a year, and clearly people search for an eclipse around about the time when the eclipse occurs. Full moon happens every 29 days on average. There's an increase in searches for watermelon when it's summer. Things like the Summer Olympics occurs every 4 years, and there's a big spike. And Opteron is when AMD, I think it was 22 April 2003 when they announced their new chip. But the point is we are creatures of habit. We also differ from country to country. You look at the United States search behavior, and it's sort of nice, round, and cyclical. In France, it's a little bit more erratic. And in Spain, you can clearly see where the siesta is. But media has also changed. You know, we used to be searching for content, and now we're suddenly just uploading photos all the time. I mean, we were uploading in 2009 maybe 100 million pictures. Now it's 1.8 billion pictures being uploaded every single day. And technology has moved on. We can now analyze these pictures, and in fact, there's many articles flying around saying computer programs are just as good at figuring out what a picture represents as a human, if not better, these days. So there's a lot of data we can extract from pictures that people are uploading. The question is, what do we do with this data? Well, first of all, these days, you can take a picture of a sheep, put it on Instagram, and sell it. This is actually happening right now. People are selling sheep. It might be because people are speaking different languages, or they can't even read and write. Take a picture of the sheep, put it on an Instagram, someone buys the sheep. But it's also important to think about not only what input we're getting from our users, but what it is that they really want. Because sometimes they can misspell Britney Spears in 100 different ways, but we know that it's Britney Spears that they're looking for. So what I would like to talk about today is user journeys. We have so many user journeys in our lives, some we're not even aware of. A typical example is you've decided to buy a bike. You've bought your bike, suddenly you need a helmet, and then you need cycling shoes, and then you need gloves, and then you need a clip, and then you need a bicycle pump, and then you decide, well, maybe I should get GPS or sat-nav. Maybe I should get some lights for my bike. Maybe I should get a lock. But there are tons of these journeys. Imagine a baby being born. There's a whole chain of events that happen after that. Imagine deciding to go skiing, and then you need a lift pass, and then a ski pass, and then you need insurance and baby care and a good restaurant to go to, or a nice place for a bit of après-ski. So there are many of these journeys, and because people are visiting our classified sites and buying and selling, they're telling us about these journeys. So what we've started doing is I don't know if you're aware of Twitter's Lambda architecture. We kind of stole it and modified it a bit. But what we've decided is we need to process a ton of data because, people are sending pictures and information and searching at such a rapid rate that we need a big distributed system for analyzing this data. And so we're taking the events in a message queuing system like Kafka or Kinesis, putting the data into cold storage. We're using S3 right now. And then we have two streams. One is a batch processing stream for which we're using Apache Spark, as well as stream processing for really real-time data, which we're using Apache Storm for. And then we're putting that into our hot data store, which is Cassandra. And that way, we can query predicted events on both real-time processing and batch processing results. And that just means if someone is just about to buy a camera, we know about it. So this is only possible because of the improvements in big data over the last couple of years. But maybe I should explain a little bit about how we do this. So imagine you have an event stream, event 1, 2, 3, 4, and it just keeps on going from a particular user. We take the event stream and we break it into blocks, like a moving window. I've chosen blocks of 3, but typically it will be much larger blocks. What we can then do is we can say for every one of these blocks, event 1 all the way up to event n-1 can be used to predict event n, the last event in the block. And how do we do this? Well, there's many ways to do this, but we're using hidden Markov models as well as recurrent neural networks to do that prediction. But I want to leave you with one last thing. What if we can do more than just predict these user journeys? What if we can actually influence or disrupt them and make people's lives better? Let's think of some examples. What about that car you've always wanted to buy and you never got around to buying it? What if you just need a gentle nudge by seeing a picture of this beautiful car and you can go and buy this car? What about that holiday that you never took? We'll probably notice that you're overworked. Maybe all you need is that right picture at the right time and you'll go on holiday. Maybe you're about to propose. Maybe all you need is that gentle nudge. That might not be you seeing the ring, that might actually be your wife-to-be seeing the beautiful ring, but still gentle nudge. So there's lots of things we can do when we predict user journeys, and hopefully we can make lives better. Maybe one last example, typical user journey, you leave work, you walk down, you see the pub, you go for a beer. What if we could suggest going to the gym rather than the pub, just on a Thursday? So with that, I thank you. And by the way, that's what happens when you don't buy the right lock for your bike. Thank you very much.